Welcome on in everyone to their North from Philly podcast. I'm Adam from Wales and I'm here with my good buddies Justin from Tennessee and Drew from Westchester. And big guest this week at get on the number one Jalen Hurts fan in Philadelphia, Mr. Jack Fritz.
Good to be
Jackie
here, boys.
Baseball. Yeah.
Yes.
So gutted Corey couldn't
Great
be on
intro.
with us today because that would have been fun. But I had to get that in there then. But yeah, Jack, thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate you making some time. I know it's always busy with the kids and stuff on the weekend. So it's and you work a lot of hours. So it's I appreciate you jumping on with us. Yeah, so I guess I'll go to you first, Jack. Like we just said, it's been a up and down sort of slow start for the Phillies this year. Really disappointing loss last night. Like I just said, I went to bed after the first inning last night because the game is on so late over here. I went to bed quite happy and then woke up this morning really disappointed. Watched the highlights quickly, looked over some of the numbers, and it was like, oh man, Luzardo, that fifth inning, thing came back again where he struggled with that last year. But he did strike out 8 batters, but it was just the bats. The bats were the problem again after that you had Bryce had that good hit, and then Brandon Marsh had the home run, and it was like, are the bats gonna have a really good game? And it just wasn't meant to be. So Jack, like obviously, I know you would have not been too happy with that last night as well. So how are you feeling about it's a long season. Obviously, we don't want to panic too much, but as we do as Philly sports fans, we sort of just see red straight away. I see red a lot, and I fire out things, and I get pissed off, and I get but it is a long season, and I suppose we do need to like not panic too much. But how are you feeling about things? Because I know you've been a bit in the middle as well about things, not to panic, certain things to panic about. So how are you feeling about things, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, first off, it is every time I come on here, Justin's Wi-Fi is horrible, and he can never have a good connection. I mean, it's unbelievable. Did they have good Wi-Fi in Tennessee? I mean, it's not this
Yes,
hard.
I've got the high speed Wi-Fi available, dude. It's like 100, 500, whatever, 1,000 gig, whatever.
Oh, Jim. I don't know, Jim. But I swear, Drew only wears that hat. I don't know if I've ever seen you without that hat on, Drew. I'll be looking out. I'll see you like at the Eagles games, the Phillies games, same hat. Doesn't matter.
Good identifier. It might be glued to my head at this point. I got a couple replica. I got a couple replica hats. I got one for my son. I got like two others like on backup. But yeah, this is the hat.
Never been washed, I'm sure. Never been washed. So with the Phillies, like I react just like everyone else. Like I can understand the whole, like both sides honestly annoy me. The people that say it's too early annoy me, and the people that overreact to everything and say they suck and they're cooked and they're gonna be a 500 team. Like I think they annoy me as well. I think there's real concern here. I think the problem is that it's the same team and they're doing the same stuff, but they're all a year older, and last year you had an unbelievable season. Well, a very good season from Trey. You had a really unbelievable year from Schwarber. It was hard to believe. Like Trey should be able to replicate that season he had last year, but if you look at some of the underlying numbers, you could suggest why he was going to maybe not have the same year. And then Schwarber was not going to hit 56 home runs again. So you expected those guys to take a step back. You expected Harper to be better. I think he looks fine. We'll get more into him, I'm sure, as we go forward. But it's really just like the Stott, the Bohm, those guys not being able to take steps forward. Marsh has been about as good as you could want him to be or expect him to be, which is great. Yeah. But JT, I just don't think can drive the baseball anymore. I mean, he did rip that ball that happened to be right at Arenado in the ninth, which is a bit unfortunate. And Crawford's been, I think, exactly what you want, but they just look so similar. And I think that's the thing that is jarring, and we know that the pitching staff was always going to have to carry them. Luzardo was weird last night because he was dominant, like just dominant. And then he did have a couple starts last year. I remember the Red Sox start where he kind of just fell apart in the middle of it. And I thought that, I thought his stuff got elevated a little bit. He used his four seam more last night, which I thought was weird. I thought he ditched that pitch because it's not a very good pitch. I thought he went more with the sinker. Changeup was up. He didn't have good feel for that pitch at all. So I'm not worried about Luzardo, but that's two, kind of stinkers that you don't love to see. But I mean, overall, I feel okay about them. I in my head, I don't believe that some of the starters are going to pitch how they pitch. I think they're going to get better. And in my head, they're not going to be the 29th best team in baseball with runners in scoring position. I just refuse to believe that. So, but I also don't think that they have a lot of power coming as well. That's been my one thing about them is they just feel so power deficient, and they have guys that can every once in a while hit a home run, but it's more of a surprise if they do than anything. So that's the thing that really, I keep coming back to is I think the bullpen's good. I think the starters are really good. The lineup, they're going to strike out. Apparently, I mean, 16 strikeouts last night.
But it's brutal.
But it's the power thing that I keep going back to, where it's just they feel so deficient from that standpoint.
Yeah, definitely. It's that it makes you think back to the start of the season. It was you had Dombrowski coming out saying well, we feel pretty content with the lineup and we have faith in these guys, and Rob Thompson more or less is starting to say the same sort of thing after every loss, or they're going to find their way out of it. They're going to find their way out of it, and it is still early, and I think they can win the division. You know what I mean? I know there's always it's us and the Mets, but you look at the Mets lineup. I mean, it's not really a scary lineup. I would say. I'd say our lineups are quite similar. So I suppose they've got their big guys up top, and we've got ours. It's just like you said, I wasn't expecting Brandon Marsh to hit that home run last night. So it's good to see Marsh, getting that continuity. And Adolis Garcia, hopefully later on he'll get better and he'll find that power, but obviously we all don't know if he's going to have that 2023 season again. There's that concern, and so just Drew, what how are you guys feeling so far?
The bats are what's frustrating me. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
go, Justin. You take it.
Well, like Jack said, 15, 16 strikeouts last night. It's so frustrating at the chase all the freaking time. I mean, there's no consistency in the lineup. They get off to the hot start, like you said. Harper gets the RBI double, then Marsh gets the 3-run homer. You're thinking, okay, they're home. They're big crowd Friday night opening of the series. They're going to get things going, and they just go ice freaking cold, man. And it's so frustrating to watch that because, like Jack said, it's the same team. They're just another year older.
What do you think, Drew?
Yeah, so I guess when I didn't really hold 2023 against them, that NLCS against the Diamondbacks. They won 2 series, they beat a really good Braves team. I more so thought the baggage started the year after when they lost to the Mets, but I don't know that you could have picked a more, just coming off the end of a bad West Coast trip. I don't know that you could have picked a more symbolic game than last night. It felt like they got together before the game and decided to replay that NLCS. You're cruising, it's a 4-0 lead. Topper looks great for putting, Marsh in the cleanup spot. Everything's going great, and all of a sudden just bang, crash, and you lose a game, and now you're facing Brandon Pfaadt today, who for whatever reason seems to always be good against the Phils with Taiwan on the mound. Yeah, it felt a little bit. Last night felt a little bit like Lucy pulling the football away from Charlie Brown or whatnot. Where that was the first one this year that I felt like they, that it was a game that they kind of let get away, or that they should have won but lost. If we were doing this pod a week ago, I would have, probably praised them for some resiliency. It feels like they've, come back in a certain amount of games and all. But yeah, last night was last night was bad and just feels really symbolic. I mean, that Diamondbacks pitching staff, they were, I think, like going into last night, they were second to last in the league in strikeouts. So to have 16 strikeouts against them is obviously not great. You tack on that, their best player, like Corbin Carroll's not even playing. And so, yeah, just some bad stuff all around. And I think what bothered me about that fifth inning is like Ketel Marte, right? Like he seems to always kill the Phillies. Like he's a great player. Like the other two guys who I think Luzardo went on to give up hits to are just like random, like journeymen. Like James McCann's just a random catcher. Like keep that 4-2, get out of the inning. I'm not like overly worried. But I mean, there's some signs right now of them, having more holes than we might have thought 2 weeks ago.
Well, that was annoying too about that. Like it was a vintage Phillies game where they come out, they hit the home run early, and they're like, "All right, we're back. We don't need to do anything else the rest of the game." And it's like, I hate. You could feel it. You could feel it where they're like, "We're back." And they get in this mode where they think they're home run hitters, and like they always just try to end the. Rather than trying to string together hits, they do try. Yeah. They try to go for the long ball to like reignite the crowd and like get everyone going. And it was a bummer. I mean, Harper hit one to the wall. Adolis Garcia hit one to the wall. And I know that Diamondbacks, the numbers about the pitching staff. I mean, you know me. I'm a Soroka head. I've been a Soroka head for a while.
Soroka's good. Got him in fantasy. Love Soroka.
I'm a big Soroka.
He was good last night.
But then, dude, listen. I am a reliever guy. I love relievers more than like life itself. Jonathan Loaizaga is maybe one of the best relievers in baseball. He was sick last night. I don't know how anyone hits him. Like him and Mason Miller, the two best relievers in baseball. It's everyone says about Jonathan Loaizaga. And then whoever the hell they brought in after him was also disgusting. He was 100 with a hammer. And then it's so funny of those two guys who are like the stuff just pops and jumps. And then there's limpy Paul Sewald is the closer, which is unbelievable. I mean, I hate Paul Sewald. The Diamondbacks for me are like like how the Bucks were for a couple years there, where it was like I don't know why I hate the Bucks so much. I mean, I know why I hate the Bucks so much, but like the Rondé thing keeps coming. Like Brandon Pfaadt sucks, right? Like Brandon Pfaadt is terrible. And then tonight he's going to probably go 6 shutty, and it's going to look like it's Game 7 all over again. So, I mean, Torey Lovello bothers me. Him doing his whole bunting thing that he loves. The Alec Thomas bunt last night. By the way, Bum, like just come in and attack the baseball and throw it to first base. That also affected the 5th inning. So I hate the Diamondbacks. I really do. I hate everything about them.
And the thing was, they had no like lefties in the bullpen either, did they? They had no choice but to pull all the righties out there, and it's just couldn't get nothing off them. It was just so frustrating. And Justin Crawford, he almost had his first home run last night. He was like that close.
I know.
And like it was cool he got the triple, because of his speed. But just that was a gutter. But so like with that, Jack, like how do you feel about the young guys that have come up now? Obviously Andrew Painter, he's starting now, and he's looked good. He's only a couple of starts, obviously. San Francisco, he was getting hit around a little bit. He couldn't get the ball in the middle of the strike zone and stuff. That was a struggle. His first start was really good. What do you think of Painter, Otto Kemp? For me, I can't see Otto Kemp out in left field anymore. Like he's too small. He's an infielder. He gives you nothing at the plate. Obviously they're going to be patient with him, and I suppose we should be patient as well. But I'm not. I'm an idiot. I just can't be like.
You sound patient.
Yeah. No, I am. Oh, yeah. You can see the vein in my head is
again.
How are you feeling about all the young guys?
What I love about you, Adam, is that like you understand. Like, you're just like us. You're just like us. Everything's a meltdown. It's the best.
It is. I'm a walking meltdown. I am.
it's the best. So I feel like I think one of the most impressive things about teachers is how teachers have to get up in front of the class and give the same spiel every year, and like 20-year teachers have taught the same thing for 20 years, and they have to keep the same straight face, and like they have to teach it. That's what I feel like I'm getting to when talking about Andrew Painter and his fastball. Like I feel like I've talked about the Andrew Painter fastball 25 times and like
Oh, I
trying
bet,
to trying to explain how sometimes it cuts and sometimes it doesn't. And his 22 fastball where it had the elite backspin to it, and the RPMs on it were 2,500 RPMs, and now it's only 2,200 RPMs, and it used to have elite rise to it, and it doesn't have elite rise to it anymore. Now it cuts a little bit. When it cuts, it gets hit. So overall, like I think we just have to. I think Andrew Painter is going to be a work in progress. I think the most encouraging thing for me with Painter is, I thought the Giant start was about as bad as it could have been for him from the standpoint of did not have feel for any of his secondary pitches. And it's his first road game. I thought he let the game speed up on him a little bit. I think that will change as he gets a little bit older. But I think from the standpoint of the difference between him and a guy who got to the big leagues just by using his fastball and having like one wipeout slider. You see that all the time with these guys that come up. Like Mick Abel's sort of an example of that, where Mick Abel came up, elite fastball, good slider, but like nothing else to really full hitters. The nice part about Andrew Painter is he has legitimately, I think, four to five solid pitches. Even if the fastball doesn't come back to its pre-TJ levels, it's still not like a horrible pitch. I just think it's something that has to get snuck on hitters more than something that he can establish. So, I think the fastball can kind of sneak by the four-seamer. I love that sinker. I want him to throw it more to righties because I feel like it gets a jam shot every single time. I think the slider's really good. The curveball is more of a get-me-over pitch, but sometimes he hunts with it. And then that changeup, I think the more and more he throws it, he's just going to get better. So I think that there's a really good it's already solid. There's already a good foundation with Andrew Painter. It just comes down to refining all of those secondaries for me, and he'll get there. I mean, Caleb Cotham's probably the best pitching coach in the sport. If not, he's a good.
Oh, thank God we've got him. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's unbelievable. So I trust that they're going to figure out the right pitch mix for him. If the fastball does not come back, but I think from the standpoint of, I thought that Giant start could have really blown up in his face, and it didn't. I thought that was impressive, and I think he's almost been groomed for this for a long time. He doesn't seem too fazed by the moments, and that's encouraging. So I definitely feel more positive on Painter, and he's certainly a reason to tune in once every 5 days
definitely.
to see what he's going to do.
He's probably the only one you can sort of like, you've got to be patient with, I suppose, because we waited so long for him to come up, and he's had issues, and he had the Tommy John, and then he had a struggle last year in AAA. So obviously, you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt this year, and maybe going into the early starts of next year as well, depending on how everything shakes out. So, like as far as like Justin Crawford, Otto Kemp, how are you feeling about them? Because Justin Crawford's been really impressive so far. He looks comfortable out in centre field. I know there's been a couple of catches where he's mistimed, the jump and stuff, but that's growing pains, I guess. So how do you feel about them? So far.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like Crawford's exactly what he's been his whole minor league career, and it's working so far, which is funny because I certainly was not sure it was going to work. His whole like ground ball thing. I didn't know if that was gonna totally translate. I do think he is doing a better job of lifting the baseball. It's not like he hit every single ball on the ground in the minor leagues, and I think that he does have more raw power. It's not like he's Ben Revere, where Ben Revere is a little slap hitter.
That's
like
he
name.
does.
I know he has more raw power than a guy like that, and I think he maybe can grow into like 10 to 15 home runs. But yeah, the thing that stuck out to me from spring training on is that he just does not look overwhelmed at all, and he looks like he feels like he belongs at the big league level. I don't know what his like ceiling is. I don't know what is he an all-star, multi-time all-star? Is he Juan Pierre? That's like the comp that keeps getting thrown around is Juan Pierre, who's obviously a really good player for a long time. Like I think that's what he is. I think he's gonna be a really solid player for a long time. I don't know if he's gonna be like a star or even like a superstar, but I think he's gonna be a winning player. That's one thing that they keep saying about him is that he's just like a winning baseball player. Like every team he was a part of in the minor leagues got better when he got there. Now it feels a little like a stretch because it's baseball, but I think he does have some of that to him. But yeah, he does not look overwhelmed at all. That's part of being a former major leaguer's kid when you're around it your whole entire life that
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
you're going to be good to go and you're going to understand all this stuff. So I've been impressed with him. Definitely a slow start for Otto. Like Otto, he might be a guy that has to go to a bad team and get like a ton of plate appearances and to find his footing. Because it's hard for like guys to adjust to being a bench player because you don't play all the time. You play like once every 5 days or once a week, twice a week. You're thrown into pinch hitting roles. It's hard to get into a rhythm, and it takes a while for these guys to learn how to do that job. And I don't know if he's ready for that. So obviously, left field's a monstrosity. I mean, it's not what he's not a left fielder. It's part of the reason why I kind of would have just traded Bohm and rolled with Sosa and Kemp at third base and
yeah,
sign
that's what
some
I
other
do.
platoon bat for left field because he's not very good out there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a comp for Justin, I think you said when the season started might be a good one. Might be his dad. If he comps out to his dad, that's huge. Because
Yeah,
Carl
he's a great
Crawford,
player.
wasn't he like a 3-4 time All-Star?
Yeah, I mean that sounds about right, and he's a great Red Sox. I mean,
No, he sucked as a Red Sox. He sucked as a Red Sox. But I
what do you
think
mean? What do you mean?
no,
You didn't like
he
it?
was atrocious.
He's
He
a
was
four-time All-Star.
atrocious.
He's a four-time All-Star.
Okay.
His dad.
And then I
Yeah.
think most home runs he had in a season, what, 15, 16, something
I
like
think
that.
he got up to the high teens a couple times.
He got to 19 in 2010 with the Rays, and the Red
Okay.
Sox said
got paid.
The Red Sox said, "Give me him."
Yeah, we got to have that.
Yeah,
But,
we gotta have that.
yeah, don't remind me. But we got rid of him and still got another World Series after that. So anyway,
Yeah, like
But
Juan
yeah,
Pierre. Juan Pierre never made an All-Star team. Juan Pierre never made an
no,
All-Star team.
he didn't. But he was a great leadoff guy. He stole bases. I mean, if he played in this era, he'd probably get 50, 60 bases easy, right?
Well, as long as there's not power hitters behind them, because you do not want to steal bases with power hitters
That's
behind
true.
you to take them off the bases in case they go yards. So no, I don't know if he would have had 50 or 60 stolen bases because
That's
you
true.
can't steal bases with power hitters behind you.
So
But the
like
Phillies don't have power hitters. Not right now.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Well, we do. They just none of them can find their power at the moment. But yeah. So Jack, last young guy I want to ask you about. Obviously, you followed Aiden Miller since he's been drafted his whole career. You've been hiring him for a long time, and obviously everyone else has been able to see the potential that's there. Missed all the spring training. He's got a back injury. And obviously we were hoping that he would be back in to start in AAA to start the season. He'd be healthy, but it hasn't looked like that.
Yeah.
So we heard the other day that he's starting to do swinging practice, I guess, so is there any concerns with Aiden Miller? Have you heard anything? Is there, do you think he will be up in the major leagues this year, or do you think they're just going to leave him in AAA now to get him healthy and just get him keep building that confidence from where he left off last year?
So I don't, unless things change, I don't think he's coming up this year. I just don't know where he plays unless, but also I don't want to bring him up and make him like a platoon second baseman or left fielder. Or even like, third base isn't really a platoon; it'd just be replacing Bohm. But now listen, if they fall out of it for some reason and they become sellers to the deadline, God forbid, maybe then like if you trade Bohm or trade Stott, you could bring him up and he could start his career that way. I just don't think they have a spot for him. But yeah, I mean, you don't love to hear about back injuries, and he's had a lot of little things through his career so far. He's had I think he had a groin. I mean, the only reason they got him was because he broke his hamate bone. Now that's not really a soft tissue injury. That's like he got hit in the hand, and that's what happened. But yeah, I hope that this is just like growing pains, and he's lifting a lot more, and he's a young kid, and he's putting a lot on his body, and it's almost overwork in a way. But I mean, this is something that he had at the end of last year. It held him out of the Arizona Fall League. They came back this year, tried to ramp it back up, and it flared up again. So I think it's bulging discs in his back, and I don't know. I hope he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be fine, but I don't know. I just you don't you don't love to hear about like a bunch of little injuries early in a baseball career.
I want to ask Drew. So Drew, like obviously you've had some concerns the last couple of days. I knew about like Bryson Stott and stuff. He's not, he's not off to a good start. So how do you feel? And then I want to ask Jack then, like coming to the trade deadline, what do you think can happen? So how are you feeling about Bryson Stott, Drew? The minute.
Yeah, I think the thing to me that I know I've said it on, I know it's made the rounds a little bit on Twitter. I think the thing that's just so disappointing to me about Bryson is that like I feel like it's rare where a guy looks like he's kind of like established himself as an everyday player and then kind of like reverts back to the point where like, oh, like no, like not the case. Like we have to platoon him. Like he was like, you go back to that 2023 season, he was an everyday player. Through August, he was hovering around a 300 batting average. I mean, you go back to the Marlins wild card series, single off Luzardo, lefty, the famous grand slam, lefty. So the fact that we're 3 years later and he is, seems to be a very average platoon player to me is really disappointing. I mean, I don't take joy in saying this because I like him a lot, but like I feel like he should probably be thankful that he has a fun like walk up song right now, because I feel like that honestly probably spiked some like popularity early on, where I feel like people do, and I get it, like feel protective of him where they don't get on him as much. I mean, a lot of the at bats just feel like the same thing over and over. Like I can respect being patient, but it just feels like he's pretty consistently behind in counts. He's down 0-1, he's down 1-2. He just doesn't hit the ball hard. Now, I think it was, I forget what inning it was last night. It might have been the 8th. I think that ball that he, drove to right field, that was a nice piece of hitting. And he showed you what you could do, what he can do when he gets on base, steal a base, make something happen. The lack of development is disappointing to me. I mean, I remember and for what it's worth, I'll put my hand up and say I was wrong. I wouldn't have done this either. But I remember back in like June 2024 saying like, if the Phillies are interested in Mason Miller, I could see the A's asking about Bryson Stott. And I got a bunch of replies on Twitter like absolutely not, like no way, don't do this. And I got it at the time. But like, you look at Mason Miller now and you look at the past year and a half for Bryson, would anyone not do that trade, from a Phillies standpoint? So yeah, it's been real disappointing for me from that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, he's been brutal. And every time you expect him to kind of get going a little bit, it just peters out, and he gets back to like the amount of slow dribblers of the first baseline that just get picked up by the first baseman it's infuriating. And then obviously we know the pop ups to left field, they drive everyone crazy. It's just not a lot of hard contact, and that's part of the thing that is like tough about this team is Trey's not hitting the ball hard at all. I mean, he's seeming like he hit one ball over 100 miles an hour. Might have been that double against the Rangers. So he's not hitting the ball hard. Stott doesn't hit the ball hard. Justin Crawford doesn't hit the ball very hard. JT doesn't feel like he hits the ball hard anymore. It's just you see around baseball like these teams, like some of these teams, not every team. I mean, the Mets have not scored for 16 innings, so. But I feel like you see some of these teams, and it's like these guys are swinging hard and they're making loud contact.
Yep.
And the Phillies, like, Rob Thompson talked about, we got to use the whole field, like it's little league. I mean, you gotta drive the ball in the gaps. You gotta drive the ball at the ballpark, and they just might not have those guys. I think they need a whole. I know some of the players are locked in. They need a overhaul on the hitting side. Pitching wise, I feel like they're there. They're one of the most forward thinking teams in pitching, and I think they're a model organization, and pitchers want to come here. But like hitting wise, they feel behind the times. And I don't know. It's really frustrating. But Stott not developing into a Stott and Bohm. I mean, those two. If those two are what they're supposed to be, the lineup's in a fine situation. I mean, it goes like 6 deep with real hitters, but they're not. And now it's Marsh, pretty good, and Adolis has shown some signs. And that's kind of it.
This was a
I got
like
two.
hypothetical that just started. Sorry, Justin.
No,
this
go
was
ahead.
just a like hypothetical that just started floating in my head this morning. Like Jack, do you think there could be something to if you just like find a taker for Bohm where there's kind of like just like a weight off everyone's shoulders. Like he looked like I don't feel like I don't watch like body language too closely earlier in the season, but when he struck out, I think it was the 6th inning last night. Like he looked like miserable to me. Like I think of like I know like Ryan McMahon has been horrible on like the Yankees so far. Like would you like if there was a hypothetical where the Yankees called and said, "Hey, we want Alec Bohm, can we give you McMahon, everyone gets a fresh start." Would you just like get Bohm out of here and like platoon McMahon and Sosa at third base? I don't know how the contracts work out. That's just something that I thought of this morning.
Yeah, I mean Ryan McMahon's been brutal.
He's been horrible. Yeah.
And my Twitter algorithm, I'm starting to get both. For some reason, I always get Mets and Yankees reactions to everything. So I'm starting to see some of the Ryan McMahon like meltdown videos. Tell you what, New York's like crazy about baseball. The way they talk about some of their players, I maybe I'm just overly protective of Phillies players. They're so mean. Like they're just so mean to the players in New York. So yeah, I mean, I do wonder if there comes to a point this year where they feel like they just need to cut bait with him and give him a fresh start. I mean, they've put him through 2 straight off seasons of you're going to get traded, you're going to get traded. Like we don't really want you anyway. And maybe this is the year that it all kind of catches up to him. I'm sure that he's feeling the pressure of a contract year. Who knows how he's feeling with the parents situation, which is crazy.
That's a good parents.
point.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's kind of weighing on him as well. So from that aspect, I do feel bad for him. But I don't enjoy watching the guy play baseball for my team. I mean,
every time he gets struck out, he slams his helmet down on the floor straight away. He slams the bat down, and sometimes that's in like the first inning, and it's just like
did it last night.
Then it's got to his mind already, before he's even started. I mean, he's got a whole 8 more innings to go, and 4 more times where he's going to bat, and he's already slamming his helmet down, and it's just like, well, it's over before it started, So it's just nothing seems to be motivating him.
The biggest thing would be if Aiden's ready. Like if Aiden's ready and he's crushing AAA pitching, and like would they make the switch? Would they move him in for third base and ship Bohm out? And it's a hard thing to kind of sell if you're in a playoff run, but at the same time, like I think it's one way that would rejuvenate the fan base in a way.
So what do you think could like happen at the trade deadline, Jack? Because like obviously the Brandon Marsh and Otto Kemp platoon thing, that's probably going to go on for a while. I know Marsh is hot right now, and obviously they're going to see what happens with Otto Kemp. So what are they going to do with the trade deadline? Like because to me, I don't think they're going to do anything in the outfield. So is it a case of they just like keep the bullpen strong, or do they look for a starter? If Zach Wheeler, has to like go back down if he's still not like 100% healthy, what can they do at the trade deadline this year to give us that confidence going into the last half of the season?
If they need to start at the deadline, I'll be at the edge of the Ben Franklin Bridge. Like I would not handle that well at all. The one to monitor is if they need a real lefty in the bullpen if Alvarado doesn't get right. And I think Mays has done a really good job, but can I trust 34-year-old Tim Meza? 33, whatever. He dominated against me in college. Not me, my team. But Meza, he's had a really good start to the year, but is he really my high leverage lefty? I don't know. So Alvarado's been up and down, been a little shaky to start the year. Maybe a lefty out of the bullpen. They should not need a righty out of the bullpen. They should be fine from that standpoint. It's maybe the 7th or 8th straight eighth straight deadline that I said they should get Robbie Refsnyder. If the Mariners fall out of it, he can play left field. I think he's on a 1-year deal, and I assume it's going to be some right-handed bat because they've needed a right-handed bat for years. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how things kind of shake out. But the ones that jump out is a lefty and a real right-handed platoon bat if Otto Kemp cannot get going.
Yeah.
So real quick, going back to Mason, not Mason, Aiden Miller. Does he project more as a third baseman or a second baseman? Because
I
coming up,
think he could do.
people said short second. So
Yeah, I mean, he played third base his entire travel circuit because
yeah,
obviously the shortstop's really competitive from a travel team USA. Like all the best players play shortstop, and it's not that he can't play shortstop. He proved last year he can play shortstop. Obviously Trey's kind of entrenched
yeah,
there. But
Yeah.
I don't think it matters. I mean, I think he could play both. But just with Bowman on last year of his deal, it seems like his path is more third base.
third.
Now, if they draft one of these third basemen in the draft, or even one of the second, I don't know. Like they could move him around. I guess would be my point. But I don't think it's like he has to play third base. I think he
Gotcha.
could play all three.
So my second question on prospects: Gage Wood, kid from Arkansas,
Oh,
absolutely
he's dealing. He is dealing.
absolutely killed Tennessee. Couple times he faced them.
Good.
What are your thoughts? Like he's like 16 scoreless, something like that so far. 15 scoreless.
Yeah, I mean he's way too good for Clearwater. I mean
Yes.
you're watching him just overwhelm hitters. So
Yes.
Mm.
So I feel a couple things about Gage Wood. I know there's gonna be this sense to like rush him up and like get him up, like take it easy. He hasn't thrown more than 40 innings at all in college, so that's like nothing. Paul
Yeah.
Skeens last year he threw 122 innings at LSU, so
Yep.
he's gonna take a little while to. I think unless you want to make him a reliever, but like he's not. There's no point in making him a reliever. You don't need to rush him up here. You don't need him to be a starter. And if you want him to be a factor in September, if he's pitching that well, you can't burn him out early in the season. He pitched into the fourth, and they got him out of there the other night. But yeah, I mean the stuff plays. The fastball is electric. It's one of those, rising fastballs that people yearn for in the draft and development. It's one of those fastballs. And then he's in college. He had this power curve, which is a pretty good pitch, but it seems like he's kind of gone with a power slider now instead of that. He still has the power curve, but it's more of a get me over pitch than a pitch he hunts with to get strikeouts. And that's what the slider is. And while I love the fastball, and the fastball is the best in the system, his slider is like just as good when it's on. It's crazy. I watched it the other night, and like the hitters were missing it by feet. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
So I think he needs to learn a splitter. He's tinkering with one right now. So it's either a split or it's a split change, but he is like working on that pitch. I believe he needs that for lefties, just to give him a different look. So yeah, he is super intriguing, super fun. I don't think he's gonna be in Clearwater long. I think they want to keep him down there because it's warm and there's like Jersey Shore. You don't need to rush him up to North Jersey in April.
Yeah.
Like let's let the weather kind of write itself out a little bit. So yeah, I think he's awesome. I would not rush it. I think he could be in the bullpen this year if they wanted him to be, but there's really no need for that. Like you should develop him as a starter because who knows what the future of Zach Wheeler is after 27, and hopefully he can just step into the rotation. He's probably going to be ready before that. I don't know what they're going to do because the rotation's pretty entrenched in Sanchez and Luzardo and Nola and Painter and and Wheeler. So I don't know what they would do, but there's a real chance where he's ready to go and he has no spot to go, spot to go in the rotation. So, but he's really, really interesting. He's really, really interesting, and it looks like they got a good one last year in the draft.
Going back
Go on, Drew.
Going back to something about the bullpen and just like overall development, and I'm sorry in advance for the two names I'm about to bring up, because Jack, I know he's well respected. I know you talk up Caleb Cotham a lot. I'm just curious. Like I was watching some like the Pirates Cubs game while I was working yesterday. I see like Greg Soto.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
As one does.
Right. Totally normal behavior. I see like Greg Soto, striking out like PCA. Like Jordan Romano has like a 0 ERA and like 0.4 whip right now. Like, do you ding like Cotham and like Cesar Ramos and whatnot for like anything there, or do you think those two things are just fluky that those guys didn't pan out here?
Well, if you want to go even further, like Tyler Phillips pitched really well for the Marlins. But
Marlins,
at the same time,
yeah.
But he was starting here, and It's like there's some trend in baseball right now where the most boring ass starters are turning into sick relievers. You know, like Brad Keller was horrible. I mean, just horrible to watch. He was like 93, and he had no interesting stuff. Bang, you put him in the bullpen. He's got 97 with like a 92 mile an hour changeup, and he's a different guy. Jonathan Bolin was the most boring starter. He was 94 with nothing, and now you put him in the bullpen. He's 98, and so yeah, I mean, you're gonna have your misses, I guess. I think Romano was like maybe coming off the injury, maybe
He's hurt last year.
Yeah, a little bit more removed from it, getting ready. Gregory Soto, I can't. I mean, he will blow up at some point for the Pirates. I think that's almost been more well established. But yeah, I think you're always gonna have those things. But at the same time, I mean, Luzardo, Wheeler, Sanchez. I mean, what he's done with those guys, turning them to where they've gotten to. You know, even Alvarado was a huge project, and he's turned into a good reliever here. So, no, I think Kaufman's a stud, and there's some that have kind of got away, but also, I mean, they turned into one of the best overall pitching teams in baseball the last like 3 years. So, yeah, I think he's good.
How do you think? How do you feel about like Orion Kirkland? How do you think the rest of his year is going to go? Because obviously, the way it ended last year was horrendous, and as bad as a mistake that was in the Dodgers game, you did have to feel bad for the guy, because it was just he knew it. You know, you could, as soon as that ball left his hand to go to JT, he knew how badly he messed up. And I know like Drew is pretty much out on Orion Kirkland and Jose Alvarado. You know, I'm a big Alvarado fan, but I get the frustrations. Obviously, when he got suspended last year, that pissed me off big time. Because so how do you feel about those guys, Alvarado, Kirkland? You know, I was disappointed that they sent Bacchus down to AAA. So I know they had to bring Kirkland back up and Ravi, but I like Kyle Bacchus. But so how do you feel about that group of relievers?
Yeah, I mean, Kirkering, I felt so bad for him the first ball. The first batter he faces is a grounder right back to him, and he avoided the
couldn't believe it. Like, it's like something of a movie that was.
yeah. He's like, in his mind, he's like, you got to be freaking kidding me.
Yeah.
No, Kirkering's a tough one because with inherited runners was a big thing last year where it felt like he never gotten out when there was a runner that he had to come in and just clean up a dirty inning. So I'm still waiting for him to do that. But I mean, overall, I think his stuff looks really good. I think the splitter is a big game changer for him. You know, he's been working on that pitch in the offseason. If he can really get that pitch down, I think it's a real weapon for him. It's so funny how he came up and was a straight four-seam guy, like 99 to 100, and now he's mostly ditched out and gone with a two-seamer because that four-seamer was flat and was getting blasted. But no, I feel good about Kirker. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I think Bolin's development has been really good. You know, Bolin seems like he is.
Yeah, he's looking good.
It's going to be a Kirkering Bolin, that third reliever or third right-handed reliever out of the bullpen. So, you know, Alvarado's one to monitor. I've not really liked what I've seen from him at all. But I also think if Meza can kind of step up and be Meza. Banks, we know about Banks. Banks is just somehow he just gets out. I don't know how. I mean, it's almost like watching.
He does. He gets through it.
I'm a Banks guy. I like Banks.
I like Tanner Banks.
Well, it's like 92, 93, and you know, it's kind of it's mostly it's not like some wipeout slider. It's just like a regular major league slider. So I don't know. Banksy, God bless him. It's kind of like watching Ranger, you know, where Ranger, it's like, how's he getting outs? You know, because it's not, the stuff doesn't jump off the screen, but he gets outs, and then he's reliable and he's got stones. So they can survive, I think, if Alvarado's not the guy with Meza and Banks. But yeah, overall, I feel pretty good about the bullpen. Duran has looked the part, even though we have to just accept he's going to allow one just rocket at someone, even though he throws 100. He
does, yeah.
And he's not Mason Miller. You know, Mason Miller struck out 17 of his last 18 batters.
Crazy.
That guy is just like the power in his arm, like 103 miles per hour. It's just like, what the hell? Like, how is that humanly possible? But
I know.
Yeah,
100 to 1. I think he's 100 to 1 to win the Cy Young still. if you want to, play some money.
Drew, there you go, man.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, my Luzardo pick is not looking great right now. I don't know that Yamamoto or anyone's been great. It'd be cool if a reliever in like this day and age did it. That'd be a cool thing for baseball. I feel like it'd spark a lot of debate, but that'd be a cool thing.
Well, maybe if he strikes out every batter for the rest of the season, he could win it. I think that'd be a good test. So no, I mean bullpen good. Rotation I trust is going to get back to it. It's just the bats. It's always the bats.
Who's the last reliever to win a Cy Young? I know Eckersley won it in like 88 or 89 or something.
Is it
but
Gagne? Is it Gagne?
Probably. Yeah, Gagne.
Yeah, I forgot about Gagne that season. I was even thinking Rivera maybe, but Gagne is a good one.
I mean, Eric Gagne in 2003. He saved 55. He saved all 55 games that he closed.
Yep.
I think
the rec specs.
Oh yeah. Well, he's also on steroids. Well, allegedly on steroids.
Roided out of his mind.
Did because he saved 83 straight games? I think was his record. Yeah. Eric Gagne.
That sounds about right.
137 strikeouts in 82 and a third innings. That's crazy. Did you ever see the video? Have you seen the video of him versus Barry Bonds in 03?
Yep.
It's what a throwback. What a throwback. Yeah, Eric Gagne was disgusting for literally a minute. A minute.
I think to get the bats going, what we really need is just like a free-for-all brawl. Like somebody get hit, take offense to it, go out and just pile on, beat the hell out of one another. Everybody go into the clubhouse, beaten, bloody, bruised, and battered, and be like, what the hell are we doing out there, guys? You need something to wake them up. I mean, nothing like a good baseball brawl.
These pampered athletes don't do that anymore, especially although I mean, it's the Soler Renato Lopez one was a real
that
brawl.
Was a good one. Yeah,
he's been on a tear since too. He's hit like 2 or 3 more home runs, I think.
So he is one. If you're looking for a deadline guy, Jorge Soler, maybe this is the year. Hits the ball a mile, can play left field. I think if you're looking for someone who's going to start a brawl, I think it's Gage Wood. When Gage Wood gets brought up,
100%.
I can see him. I can see him start throwing at people.
Yeah, that's what I like about college baseball. It's there's more of a freedom of they don't care as much. They just you can see the pitchers shouting things at the dugouts and stuff. It's insane.
I know Jack's going to kind of frown on me for this, but I was watching Tennessee Mississippi State last night, and they didn't blow a save, thank God. Had a 6-3 lead and wound up winning 6-5. But the freshman left-hander for Tennessee, Cam Appenzender, I can't say. That kid has got some stones, man. He wound up he set them down. I think the first 3 innings, 1, 2, 3, came in, gave up a couple of runs. I didn't think they'd bring him back out for the 9th. Gets a fly out, ground out, and then strikes out the last dude. And he's talking shit to the crowd, waving bye to him. That's why I love the college game. These kids are so cocky and full of piss. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, he was a real draft prospect last year, but I think
he was.
Tennessee had enough to get him down there. So I'm sure he'll be a top 10 pick in 2 years when he's ready.
Before we finish, are you still trout fishing, Jack? No.
That's strictly a bit to get reaction.
Strictly a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not. Giulio will probably throw it out there, and our PD Rod loves the idea of going after trout, but no real interest. Just money wise,
too much. Then it's really there's just certain athletes that are they're amazing and they can the potential, but they just got this unlucky injury history, like with Joel Embiid now. He's had to have his appendix removed, and it's just I doubt the Sixers were gonna do much in the playoffs past the play-in tournament anyway. Maybe, I don't know, but it's just really unfortunate that Joel Embiid is just going to finish his career with just that cloud hanging over him with the injuries and what fourth year, So
I feel bad for Joel. The 1 year he actually tried to be healthy heading into the postseason, managed all of it, and then his appendix bursts.
Yep.
That's great.
It's like the basketball gods.
Yeah.
Going back to the trout thing, I'm just picturing like deadline day, like 3:50 p.m. just Jack hitting the breaking news sounder, the Philadelphia, like Jeff Passan tweet, the Philadelphia Phillies have made a deal with the Los Angeles Angels to acquire like outfielder like Joe Adele or Josh Lowe or something. Just you think Trout, everyone thinks Trout's happening for a second and bang.
Yeah.
What do you think about Joe Adele, Jack? Because like he made those 3 catches the other night, which were like fantastic, and he seems to be getting a little bit better as time goes on. So what do you think about him?
Yeah, dude. I mean, he hit 36 home runs last year. Finally,
Yep.
I mean, Joe Adele has been a prospect for my entire life. I feel like he has just been around. So yeah, I mean, the bats that like again, anyone that's going to hit a home run, like I'm so sick. I'm so sick of this weak contact nonsense. I want people who are going to hit dingers. That's all I care about now. Like you can give me the walk home run strikeout, the whatever. Like give me someone in October that can hit the ball at the ballpark, you know? So Adele's one. I actually like Soler. I don't even know. Is he playing the field or is he just DHing for them?
I was trying to look that up. I think he can play like the outfield if needed.
He can stand there. As we say, the most disrespectful thing that people say about baseball players is he can stand there.
Which is what Schwarber did in 2022, right?
Yeah, and we did say that about Otto Kemp, is that he can stand there. And then, turns out.
Yeah.
He has played 3 games in the outfield this year, so we're back. 11 games at DH, 3 in the outfield. So it sounds like he's ready to learn South Philly.
Yeah, the hitting that's ultimately like we all repeat ourselves constantly every October. The concern is always like if the bats are cold, then we've had it, and it's a shame that we're this early into the season where we're game by game now. We're so paranoid that the bats are just gonna freeze out in these games, which they ultimately do. Like I'm sick of seeing guys walk in to first base. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's good, that they're seeing the pitches correctly and stuff. Kyle Schwarber gets a lot of walks. Bryce has gone a little bit better with getting walks, but it's just like you can't rely on that to win games. You know what I mean? You can't. If that's all you've got to get on base is walking, then it's just like it's going to be a long season. It's like, where do we go? Like Kevin Long, is he in trouble of losing his job after this year? If we go out in October the same way again, where the bats go cold, like, what's your thoughts on that, Jack? Just before we finish.
Well, I mean, they extended him, so I almost think that you would have to blow out. You'd have to fire Thompson and him because I think. First of all, I would give Caleb Gotham a lifetime contract if that's not abundantly clear that I really believe in Caleb Gotham. But every time Rob Thompson talks about Kevin Long, he's the best hitting coach in the sport. And it's like, well, no, he's not. So I almost think that you would have to fire both them if you're going to do it. So because he's going to be my hitting coach until I'm in the grave. I feel like Kevin Long.
And it's not
Adam
would be fine with firing both.
Yeah, I want to fire Dave Dombrowski as well. Like,
get him all out of here. Get him all out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unfortunately it seems like all that's going to be on the table if they go out early. Dombrowski probably not unless they just move him into like a senior advisor role, and or you need the team to come back to Nashville and see if there's real expansion, and then he can go help with that ownership group. So. Yeah, I don't know. The walking's great. You need the guys behind them to drive them in if you're going to do it. And my fear is that like Bryce will walk for a certain amount of time, but then when he's not getting pitches and he's not doing like he's being taken out of games, essentially, he's going to start pressing, and that's where you don't want him to be. So that's where we're at with the walking.
Final thought from me: the nephew pitched Thursday night.
Oh yeah, he's looking good.
Shout out to Brady.
2 innings, had 4 strikeouts, had 3 walks. Still some little bit of issues with some control and some horrible umpiring, in my opinion. Got some couple bad missed calls on what would have been third strikes, but he's still on a pitch count. Pitched 2 innings again. Looked good. Fastballs anywhere between 97 and 99. Got just a killer changeup, and we're tickled to death for him, boys.
No, he's doing awesome. Yeah, he's
in the right organization to be developed too. That's a great feels like a great spot.
Yeah, couldn't have asked for a better way to start your career. Yeah,
he's gonna be traded in some big trade for like Scoble or something. He's gonna be a Tiger.
A scoop on the Dodgers just feels inevitable.
Yeah, or the Mets,
Oh,
Oh,
can you imagine?
God. Please, no.
That is just gonna. I just can't. I
I
can't
couldn't.
put up with the Dodgers anymore. Like, you know what I mean? It's just not fair.
I love Frank the Tank, but I couldn't handle Frank the Tank absolutely ripping my nephew limb from limb. I might have to go hunt his ass down and whip him.
I'm sure.
All right. Well, we'll cut it there for today. Yeah, Jack, thanks again for coming on. Really appreciate it. And you know, I know you're a busy guy, and Ravu and a big family man. So it's yeah, I'll let you get back to the little team you're building there. And congratulations again to you and Jill. And
everyone says like work is stressful or whatever. Like being at home is really the work. That's like when it starts. You know, this is much tougher than what I do at work. I do nothing. I play some drops. You know, take some digs at the quarterback, fires and drops. Do you talk about Blue Chew? I mean, it's not that bad.
Deal with Spike.
Deal with Spike. He had Bryce 6 feet under 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
You know, and he's up to 250 something. So we're back. We're
back.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thanks again, and Drew, just thanks as always for being on with me, and yeah, it's been a great show, been fun, and Jack, all the best, and we'll see you soon, unless maybe Taiwan Walker gets us a win tonight. Let's see.
Oh
well, they're gonna win tonight. They always win the game that everyone's like, oh, no shot.
Yeah,
6 innings, 1 run.
Yeah, 6 innings. Now, I don't want to see Brandon Pfaadt again. Now I did pick him up in a fantasy league that I'm already like I don't. Just in case, you know, I tried the Soroka thing last night in a fantasy league. Ended up actually working out well for me. But yeah, I'm picking up every pitcher against the Phillies in hopes that it gets the offense going.
Guess the juju gone. Yeah. All right. Well, cheers, guys. So yeah, we'll be back. Probably our next show now will be after the draft. We'll react to the Eagles draft, see how he does. Is AJ gonna be gone or not? Or you know, hopefully it's after June 1st. So we're not eating a bunch of money. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we'll be back after the draft to react to the draft. So that'll be fun. And yeah, thanks, Jack, and see you soon. And go Phils.
Go Phils.
Love y'all, man.
You don't even hop on for the draft? You don't even hop on for some draft talk?
If you want, yeah, you can hop on. You, Ike, Spike, or maybe not Spike. Yeah. I'm scared of Spike. I don't think I could go. I don't think I could go with Spike.
Scared of Spike. There's no reason to be scared of Spike.
None whatsoever.
No. But yeah, go Phils, go Birds. See you all soon.
Love y'all. Mean it, boys.